The old saying, April showers bring May flowers. Well, just because you have a backyard garden or a city plot doesn't mean you have a green thumb that's a given. So we've got some advice from an expert who's also an educator.
Being a city girl, I've always found it hard to get into gardening. Whether it's the lack of time or the lack of knowledge, it's just something I was always afraid to take on. And even when I tried it by myself, here is what I ended up with. But I'm determined to get green, and with help from experts, I'll help both you and I garden in the city.
A lot of people are starting to recognize the value of fresh, ultra-fresh produce that they've just picked from their garden.
Produce that's rich with vitamins and antioxidants. More and more people are giving gardening in the city a try, and with help from instructors like Jody Peters, organic gardening has become more accessible to many people.
Everybody can do it. Everybody can grow their own food on whatever level they're ready to do it. And it doesn't ever look the same for anyone, but it always has this feature of people coming alive as they connect to this very vigorous force of life. What happens when you put a seed in the ground and it turns into a plant. Currently I have 4 different backyards.
Jody teaches a gardening in the city course at the Burnaby Community and Continuing Education as part of the horticulture program. The program has been very popular, especially recently.
In this class, we basically start out with starting seeds and go over the basic vegetables and the timing of our climate and when you would want to start things. And we work on how to make good soil. We look at how to build your soil organically. And we really focus on how to promote the health of your plants rather than focusing on all the pests and diseases that could eat your plants. A healthy plant is by far the best defense against pests and diseases.
We've always got 4 classes. A lot of our classes have got waiting lists. You know, we hear a lot about, links to health issues through food scandals. And I think people are no longer prepared to just accept, what they take from the shelf. They really want to know what they're eating, and they're more health conscious.
But for a lot of people, the challenge is finding the perfect location to garden, especially if you live in a condo. But Jody says that there are many ways to get around that.
So this is a wonderful example of an urban site. It's a south-facing garden with lots of space, and when we found it, we were introduced by a neighbor. It was totally overgrown by weeds, and the woman that lives here was very welcoming to our help, and so over the last 3 years we've transformed it into a really productive vegetable garden. So we're growing garlic, strawberries, I've planted peas, spinach, radishes. These are all really good early spring crops, so they can sprout in fairly cool soils. And then we plant a lot of lettuce and kale here because this site gets a bit more shade in the summer. So when you're transplanting any plant, you want to really make sure that the roots are able to stay facing downwards and that they never get squished up or make a J shape. So the best thing to do is dig a hole that's bigger than what you need and place the plant down there and make sure all the roots are pointing down, and then just toss the soil in gently.
So much fun. I'm really getting into this. And for more info, you can check out the website on your screen. But up next, here is your Pinterest tip.
Start seedlings in an eggshell, and when ready, plant the entire thing. The eggshells will naturally compost, providing valuable nutrients to your plants.
That's the first of many gardening segments coming up on Go, and we'd love to